Hi, I'm Tara Hitchcock, and you are watching a special on-location edition of Harkins Theater's Behind the Screens. The 1980s come alive in the new film, Masters of the Universe. This is a true dream for director Travis Knight. We'll explain why in just a second, but in the meantime, Harkins had a chance to head on location to Los Angeles, or should I say Eternia, and sit down with the entire cast. Take a look.
All that stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories. Talking tigers, spaceships, and magic swords that can make a man as mighty as a god. Where I come from, that stuff is real.
Congratulations on this. I have to start with the scene where you look down and they kind of pan down and here come the abs, because I think any human would love to look down and see what you saw. I know you're talking a lot about the physical transformation, but when was the moment in that process where you kind of looked down and thought, I'm making progress, like I can see the effort?
It's very strange doing a physical transformation like that, because it seems like everyone sees it happening but you.
Right.
You know, you always feel too small, like you're not ready. And then one day you wake up and you go, oh, wow, I've got abs. Or I didn't used to have these shoulders. And really, you know, someone shows you a photo of what you looked like before you started it, and it's quite shocking.
And it goes so fast, at least for me.
This is the depressing thing. I had to jump onto another movie right afterwards, a World War II movie. And the director texted me saying, I'm having nightmares that you're going to show up as He-Man. Please stop working out, stop eating all that protein. And yeah, you're right, it comes off depressingly quickly.
One of my favorite parts of the whole movie is the fact that you work in HR, and it turns out you are convinced some of your HR skills will come in handy in Eternia. For you personally, is there a skill you learned on another job or something else that actually has come in handy with your acting career?
Well, so I worked in retail for many, many years, and you have to have the absolute patience of a saint working in retail, because it is a very thankless job. And so, you know, we wait around a lot in our industry. You know, the famous adage goes, hurry up and wait. And so I think I've definitely used that skill once or twice in my career.
A couple questions about the big line. One, can there be too much rehearsing it? Because you kind of want to capture the authenticity of it. And two, that whole concept of I have the power, when did you realize you had something special too?
As Nick?
As Nick.
Oh my God. Well, to answer the first part of the question, that's exactly it. For me, it was something that I didn't want to rehearse too much, because it is, I mean, it's hard for me to sort of speak, you know, in the meaning of that line in other iterations of the IP, but certainly for my Adam, he really has to empower himself in that moment. He's been counted out all of his life, and so it means a lot when he says it for the first time. Now, in terms of myself, honestly, I feel like I have been empowered by a lot of people giving me incredible opportunity. You know, acting is not something that I pursued as a younger person in life. It's something I very much fell into, and you know, this moment is 13 years in the making, and a lot of really important people have afforded me these opportunities. So I'd say it's more the people around me who've empowered me.
You are much younger than me. I grew up in the 80s. The music and the soundtrack was everything. Do you wish you grew up in the 80s too, now having done this film?
Yes, I mean, but truthfully, you know, a lot of the music I was educated with was, you know, music from the 80s, and you know, our soundtrack has all of those sounds in it. We obviously have the incredible, I'm a huge Queen fan, so we had the incredible Brian May playing on the soundtrack, which was so surreal. I mean, he's truly one of my favorite guitarists, so bizarre.
He's unbelievable. I know they just wrapped me. Dolph Lundgren was at the screening yesterday.
We met on set, and I can't say better things about the guy. I mean, not only is he still this sort of mammoth of a man, but So smart, so kind. We had a really great time working together.
I can't wait for Harkins Theater moviegoers to see this, and I'm hitting the gym first thing in about a week.
And yeah, give yourself a week.
Like that top
I
blazer.
tried to go a little bit with the theme.
Is it a top and blazer?
It's like 80s hair. It's
Loving
it's a
it.
top separate and a jacket, and I've
Perfect.
worn it like 8,000 times.
I love it.
Whatever.
Well, I've never seen it before, so it's my first
But it's
time
new to you.
experiencing
You
it.
look great.
Thank you. We could not be farther.
I know, everyone keeps
This
saying
is the
that.
thing.
I can't hug them. I can't. Tara Hitchcock. I work with Harkins Theaters, the largest independently owned theater chain in the U.S.
Nice.
We're based
Wow.
in Arizona.
That's awesome.
Which brings me to my first question. It might be silly, but for you all, when you're doing a film like this and then you sit there at a premiere screening and you see it on a big theater screen, is that just surreal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Especially at the Chinese theater, which is just this
I know, it's so
iconic,
iconic.
larger-than-life theater. It's incredible.
and the audience were like laughing and
Yeah.
screaming and hollering and clapping. It was
Yeah.
a real cinema moment.
Yeah.
It was great.
Who has the cooler outfit, in your opinion?
Tila.
Yeah.
100%, right?
I mean, I'm biased, but I think your outfit's pretty cool too.
Well, yeah, I
It
look
doesn't
like
look very
a
comfortable.
piece of broccoli with metal bits stuck to it, like
Metal broccoli.
You do get to take it off, though, at some point and have a very different.
It's completely.
That was kind of a really cool outfit, I'm not gonna
I
lie.
know. It was
Yeah.
actually the way they designed it. It was really comfortable and cool. It was really cool shoes and that. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yo, can I wear this?" I was like, "Well, we got to break it down a little bit." And when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Never mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking he basically went from Spanx to like pajamas.
Yeah.
I love the father-daughter aspect of this. I know you are a dad. I would imagine that playing a father is not that difficult for you.
Yeah, well, saying that, you know, it's about chemistry. It's about openness with the actors. You know, Camila and I happened to really get on immediately,
Yeah.
and then transfer that into the words. We
Yeah.
took time to dig into what we're saying to each other, and you know, she gave me a hard time, like my kids do. So
It's just really hard not to get along with him because you're so likable and relatable and grounded. So it was effortless.
How much say did you have in your entrance scene? Because it's such a great entrance.
I love that entrance. Thank you for bringing that up because I really do feel like Travis is so good at introducing characters, and I feel like he, you know, you don't necessarily see Tila for a little bit, and then when you do, I think it's this like big moment, and
it was badass.
it was awesome.
Camila was sitting right there. I wanted to go over there and pinch her little cheeks, like, oh, look.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, Tila. Look
I
at
was
you
like,
with your
don't
little
do
rifle
it.
stab.
My wife was like, don't do that. Leave her alone.
That'd be creepy and maybe make me angry. It's interesting, though. You are, as any parent is, they don't want to fail their child. A child doesn't want to fail their parents. But that whole idea of I failed is in this film.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, sometimes a failure can lead to something great.
Exactly.
Or can be a good thing. For each of you personally, has there been a failure that actually turned out to be one of the best things that might have happened?
Yeah, for me, many times in my life, I've had moments that didn't work out how that I wanted. You know, in my early career, especially, you know, I went for a period where it was huge, long times of unemployment. I felt like a failure. I felt like I was going to give up.
Yeah.
But it actually made me stronger as an actor.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like some of the toughest times in my relationships with loved ones have been the most beautiful moments of my life where I've like learned a lot about myself and have grown as a person because of those experiences. So, yeah.
I shall kill you one by one.
I love hearing that Trapjaw is a girl dad in real life.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. But yeah.
At what age will she get to see her father as Trapjaw?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, she's 14 months old now,
Right.
so I guess in theory she might, but as a byproduct of all this press, she might see like snippets of it. But I mean, she was born while we were filming, which was cool. I mean, it was great. Everyone was so supportive. I mean, Alison kind of endured lots of baby photos, and everyone really went, "Oh my God, it's the cutest baby I've ever seen before." You know, they did
I
that.
think I saw you as Trapjaw for the first time the same day I saw your newborn baby.
I did a lot of that.
It was nice. It offset the scariness of his makeup in the movie.
Yes.
What is the art to being evil with just a look? Because you do so much without saying a whole lot sometimes.
Thank you. Well, I think that's such the fun of Evil Lynn is that she's very calculated and calculating. Unlike the rest of the evil horde who are using brute force and very unique mechanisms attached to their body. Evil Lynn is the brains of the operation. So I did really want to keep her quiet. I feel like at once she's cat-like and serpent-like,
Yeah.
and it's all a mind game. It's all about sizing up every person in the room at all times and knowing where you stand. So that was really fun.
I love the fact that, like a lot of women, sometimes we have to laugh at a guy's jokes when they're not that funny.
Definitely, this is a big part of Evelyn's job. She's always gassing up Skeletor, pumping him up. She has to deal with all his BS.
You guys do that? Yeah. I thought I was hilarious.
I know, you are. You're clearly. Sometimes, we have to fake it.
Yeah, I'm
It's
so
true.
sorry.
But you're too scared to use it.
Trust me, I know how to use it.
Jared Leto, I've been fortunate enough to interview him a few times, but he still scares the stuff out of me. Is he intimidating to be around when he's filming?
I have to say, of course, yes, he's such a talented actor, so when in character as Skeletor, it was very scary, but we actually had a lot of fun.
Okay.
We had fun with the character dynamic and their chemistry. Our director, Travis Knight, let us improvise a good amount, so, I think I got to see a softer side. Okay.
Dolph Lundgren as He-Man.
I found out today that in addition to Dolph Lundgren at one point taking on the role of He-Man, apparently you did as well.
I did as
What?
well, yes. No, I was a big He-Man fan when I was a kid. I love the cartoons. I play with the toys. I was such a big He-Man fan that I commandeered my dad's video camera and I made my own He-Man movie with me starring as He-Man, obviously. Alas, I did not look the part. But I did have the classic bowl haircut of the '80s, so I had that going for me.
I love it so much. It's interesting, obviously, the big line. By the power of Grayskull, I have the power. When did you realize that you had something special?
Oh my God. I don't know that I've ever realized I had something special.
Come on. That you had a talent to do what you're doing now.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, look, you kind of just follow your muse. I mean, I think that, one of the great gifts that my dad gave me in terms of advice was he said, just, find a calling, find the thing that you feel like you were put on this earth to do. And I think that's, the greatest advice that anyone can have. It's like we all have unique gifts, we all have unique challenges, and, I just happen to love art and storytelling and music. And my love of film is the combination of all those things. I never thought I'd be doing this for a living, so I consider myself very, very lucky that I'm doing this. But no, it's just it's a gift to be able to do what it is that we do.
I mean, I'm an 80s kid as well.
Yeah.
The music is so good. I feel bad for people who are younger that didn't grow up in the 80s.
It was a great decade for music, for sure.
I mean, so to add that, the soundtrack's incredible.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, so our composer is Daniel Pemberton, who is extraordinary. I've been wanting to work with Dan for a long time, and he brought something really special to the movie. When we originally had our conversations, I brought up Flash Gordon because that was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid, and it was iconically scored by Queen, which was very unusual, and so that was one of our touchstones. And fast forward to a year and a half later, and we're sitting in Brian May's house as he's playing his Red Special with his sixpence. It was a real pinch me moment. I don't think there's enough guitar solos in modern film scores. And
I agree.
And we've got the great Brian May in ours. So no, the music is a character in and of itself. It's very special, and it's so much fun.
Our time for talk is over.